Greetings, fellow Watch Comrades, and welcome to the 18th installment of the Watch Komrade Show, brought to you by Russia to All. I'm Craig Hester, the Watch Comrade, and as always, thanks for joining us. We actually just passed our one-year anniversary of the Watch Komrade Show, and we are really excited about what has happened over the past 12 months. We've averaged more than 10,000 views a month, and that is growing all the time, collectively for our videos over the past year. And we want to thank everyone who has made the show such a success for us. All of our partners, Hodinkee, Oceanic Time, BDWF, Watch Geeks, I can't name them all. The Watch Lounge. We have a number of partners who have posted our show on their site and have interconnected with us to help promote and share the really cool story about these Russian watches that we're so proud to represent here in North America. So thanks to everyone, and of course, keep watching. We got a lot more coming. There's some great, exciting new watches coming out this year. Looking forward to the trip to Basel, where we're going to see the new offerings roll out. So stay tuned, definitely, to the Watch Komrade Show. This week, the show is really our first one ever for the ladies, or for you guys who want to get something that we're sure your lady friend or the lady in your life would really, really like. Because these have been hugely popular among our female customers and for guys as gifts. And actually, one of the interesting things we've noticed over the past 2 to 3 months, there's been a marked increase in the female viewership of the Watch Komrade Show. In the beginning, it was all guys. I mean, only guys watched the show. But if you look in recent history, it's steadily been an increase in women watching the show, which tells us there is a great interest even in men's watches among women, which we knew that already, but this has definitely been an indication of that. We've also had a lot of women buying watches for the man in their life. So we felt like with Valentine's Day coming up, which by the time anybody watches this after the show, after the Valentine's Day has passed, they're going to be like, wait a minute, you mean next year? But we are actually doing this show right before Valentine's of 2010. It would be a great time to show one of the few ladies offerings done by our Russian manufacturers, in this case Vostok-Europe. I also want to throw out there, we're actually kind of curious as to what has caused the increase in female viewership on our show. So if you post a comment, send us an email, let us know, because now that we do have a growing contingent of women watching the show, we would like to provide you with more of what you're interested in. We already know the guys are going to watch. Guys, the watch geeks out there are always going to be into this kind of thing. But now that we got the ladies watching, let us know what you want to see, and we'll try to provide more of it. Okay, the watches this week, let's jump right into them. There's 2 specific models that are produced by Vostok-Europe. Now, Vostok-Europe, as you know if you've regularly watched the show, is the company that's out of Vilnius, Lithuania. They use the Russian watch movements. They actually are expanding into some other movements as well. They're trying to diversify their base, but part of their core is still the Russian Vostok movements, which are built by the Vostok Watch Company in Chistopol, Russia. And in this particular example, you still have the Russian 32 jewel automatic, highly decorated Russian movement in these watches. This isn't automatic, so with the movement of your wrist, the watch will stay wound as long as you wear it every day. This is what is referred to as the ladies' red square. And these are really, what they did is they took what had been an extremely popular men's watch, the red square, and they changed it, made it a little smaller, added Swarovski crystals along the side of the case, did a mother of pearl dial for one of them, and they turned them into a ladies' watch. Now, as ladies' watches go, let's be clear, this is not a small watch. This is not a petite ladies' watch. This is still a big watch. You're talking about 32 millimeters top to bottom, 41.5 or 42 millimeters top to bottom, and 32 millimeters across. So this is still a pretty big watch for a lady. So if you're a woman who's into the petite watches, this is probably not for you. This is for the lady who likes to have a real stunner that's very noticeable and is going to stand out on their wrist. So in some ways, this is like a small men's watch more than than a ladies' watch. It's absolutely designed for ladies. Although I will tell you, I've had several guys buy the black version, the blacked out version of this, to wear as a dressy dress watch, like when they're going to weddings and have a tuxedo on or whatever, because with the crystals and so forth, it actually can work really well and as a watch for those kinds of occasions. Now, the two different versions, one is all stainless, and of course both of them are surgical grade or 316L stainless steel. One has the black dial, a radiant black dial, and of course it has the Swarovski crystals, I can never pronounce that properly, running around both sides of the case. And this has, of course, again, the 32 jewel Russian automatic Vostok movement in it. There's a day-night indicator, which is on both of the options available in this watch. It has the date at between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. There is super luminova on these, which for dressy watches like this, that's not necessarily always going to be the case, that you've got the possibility to see these in the dark with the super luminova. Now it's on the indicators on the black. Nope, it's on both. It's on the indicators and the hands. It's not going to be, you know, in your face kind of super luminova like the military male watches are, men's watches are, but it is there, so you can view this watch in the dark. Now the rose gold version, which is heavily plated in the Russian rose, the Russian red rose gold, as we like to refer to it. It comes with a true mother of pearl dial. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with what a mother of pearl dial is, mother of pearl actually means it's the inside of the shell of an oyster, which, of course, oysters are the mother of pearl. And that means that there's going to be an inconsistency in dials. Not everyone is going to be the same, because this is a natural material that's being used for these dials. So your dial is going to be, by definition, different than somebody else's dial who buys this watch. Does have a true Stingray strap, makes for a beautiful combination. And again, that's another thing, because this is a natural material, they're not going to all be 100% the same. For instance, the ones that I have here on the tree, one has, and you'll see this in the picture-in-picture, in the close-ups, one has the bigger bumps on it, for want of a better way of putting it, and one has a much smaller, tighter bumps on it. So every watch, when you're talking about and using the term unique as it's intended to be used, which means one of a kind, whenever you buy one of these, pick up one of these ladies' red squares, you are getting an actual unique item because of the strap and because of the mother of pearl dial. On either one of them, you've got something natural that is going to be slightly different than every other production. Now, what are some of the other specs on this? This is hardened mineral crystal, like all of the Vostok-Europe watches. Now, on the ladies' red square, the back is an etched case back. Again, I'm going to show this in the close-up. And it is etched with the Savior Tower, or the Spasskaya Tower. I always think of the Russian pronunciation. Spasskaya Tower. That is the main tower entrance to the Kremlin in Red Square. Now, a lot of times the more common imagery you're going to see of Red Square is going to be the St. Basil's Cathedral. But in this particular case, because the lines of the Savior Tower are very vertical and horizontal and very square, other than the peak at the top, the actual spire at the top, it made sense to associate with the square nature of also the Kremlin building with the red square of this particular watch. Now, they are numbered limited editions. In this case, there's no more than 3,000 made for the entire world of each dial. And that etched case back gives you really a great conversation piece, focusing on the fact that this is a true Russian watch with an etching that comes straight out of Red Square. Now, the Savior Tower was built in 1491. It is one of the iconic images of Red Square. Sits right across the way from St. Basil's Cathedral. I mean, literally, they're just across Red Square from each other. In fact, one of the interesting things, for those of you who haven't visited the Red Square before, St. Basil's Cathedral is not nearly as big as you would think it is from looking at the photos. I mean, I'm not saying it's a small building by any means, but when you're actually there, you're kind of surprised at how not overwhelmingly large it is. So those are the options this week. On this 18th episode of the Watch Komrade Show. Again, our first true only for the ladies, although again, this can work, especially the black one can work as a high for dressy occasions for guys. I guess you could use the rose gold as well, but I know we've sold the black in that for that particular purpose on more than one occasion. It is considered a ladies' watch. It is extremely affordable. You get a whole lot of watch for the money here. With the 32 jewel automatic movement, the hardened mineral crystal, the Swarovski crystals, a mother of pearl dials, genuine Stingray strap. There is so much to offer in these watches, either as a gift for the lady in your life or for those that newly found ladies viewership that we've got to pick up one of these for themselves. So be sure and check them out at russiatoall.com. And if you have any questions or comments, post them. Also, always, we appreciate if you rate our videos and subscribe to our channel. As always, I'm Craig Hester, the Watch Comrade, and keep watching.